Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it is Wednesday night, which means it is the Heavy Hitters live. No bubbles, straight squares.
Not the squares.
Yeah, we doing the rectangles today. I'm your host K Styles, aka 6MK Live. To my stage left, as you already know, it is Mad Mike Sports. The senator is in the
I'm
building.
the legend killer today. I'm the legend killer.
I Randy Orton. He's the legend killer. And at the bottom, as y'all already know, it is the minister, the voice of reason. Jew Talk Sports is in the building, y'all. There you go. Look,
There we go. I like that.
we was happy to see one of those this past game.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
What's up, my brothers? How we doing this evening? How we doing this evening?
doing good, man. Busy, but doing good.
Who you telling? It's getting close to that holiday season, so you already know. But let's go ahead and get right into it. Give a shout out to the people that's in the chat already. We got King Treyway, we got Lee 85, John St. Clair, Xavier Littman, Keyshawn Vlad. We got Engine number 9, A137 Sauce. We got Brian Peoples, MVM 1978. Got my girl Sonia
Sonya.
is in the building, and as well as Nathan Floyd. And Mike, that wraps up the what?
The real cow.
See, we switched it up on y'all this time, so
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I like that a lot better. So
Mhm.
let's go ahead and get right into it, man. As we wait on a couple folks if they show up, but you know how we do it. It's the OG3. We're gonna give it to you raw. Wait a minute. Um,
See, that ain't the right thing to do,
that ain't that
especially,
that that ain't the right, especially
especially
with
with Shannon
the
Sharp up
show.
here, goddamn, getting some on live air. That ain't the right thing to say right now. Mm-mm.
Yeah. That
Can't be saying that,
hold on,
Casey.
hold on, hold on,
Not,
hold
not, not.
on. We gonna hit you with we gonna hit you with the stats, the facts, and the truth. Let's go ahead and
There we
get
go.
this
There we go.
thing
There we
going.
go.
All right, fellas. As we already know,
Okay,
it's
Sal.
off.
I got me some peanut butter crackers. Boy. Ooh, got the peanut butter crackers. Boy, I'll be sticking it.
He gonna be snacking tonight, boy.
Oh
Good
yeah,
Google,
boy.
good Google move. Like I said, I got some
Look, we
coconut. I
can't
got some.
start here. We can't start heavy hitters without something about the food. Okay.
Well, we ain't got the food guy, so we can get a break from that.
Yeah.
but 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 let's go ahead and get right into it, man. Like you said, I'm gonna go ahead and set everybody up. We got a Monday night matchup. It is the battle of the birds, Falcons, Eagles, Monday night football. Now, before we get right into this, fellas, I'm gonna let you go ahead and run point on this. What were some keys that you took away from the previous game that you feel could be a positive leading up to this game?
It would be the defensive side of the ball. I mean, they didn't give up any touchdowns in this last game, and to be honest, they did a pretty good job of not even allowing the Steelers to get into scoring range, like the red zone. Majority of the field goals that Boswell made were 50-plus yard field goals. So every kicker's not going to be able to do that consistently. Like I believe he hit like 4 or 5, 60 yard, 50-plus yard field goals. So I
Mm-hmm.
really feel like if we can carry that over to this next game. Um, the tackling was really good. The defense all the way around played well. We didn't give up many explosive plays. I mean, they just got to carry over everything pretty much that they did over to this next game. The only thing I'll say is get a couple turnovers and then you set yourself up, similar to what Pittsburgh was able to do. You cause a fumble, you get an interception. But outside of that, the defense played really clean. We didn't see a lot of blown coverages and things of that nature.
Okay.
Guys pretty much played really well. So I think that that's the thing that I would say that should carry over to this next game. So I'll say the defense. Everything that copy, you know, rinse, repeat, do everything you just did in this last game, in this game against Philly, and then hopefully our offense come along and you have a complete game. But I would say the defense. The defense was the bright spot in this last game.
Okay. Okay. Mike, you want to chime in on that? Any other positives that you may have came from this previous game?
Is there anything else? I mean, from what I, it was an absolute mess. From what the fans are saying, that like it didn't nothing go well. Offensive line was pitiful. I mean, the passing game for the most part,
I mean,
I wouldn't say
this
pitiful, but it wasn't great. Running game, it was good, but it wasn't great. Like my thing is, man, just keep it up. There's no need to, you just look around the league. A lot of quarterbacks started off slow. It's like we having fans arguing and analysts arguing on whether or not preseason is something that you need. But there's no real evidence to suggest that you should that every team needs preseason. I think it's more of a preference than anything. So my thing is kind of what Johnny Abraham said is, just etch that out of your memory, start over, take out the positives what you had as far as the running game, the passing game, do those and then go from there. But at the end of the day, man, it's like just keep doing what you're doing, man. Like you can't get down on yourself after a game. It's like if you're already down and you're already thinking that the season is over and we need to trade and cut everybody, you've already lost. And you're not going to be in this league long enough anyway with that attitude. So I suggest just keep doing what you do. It's gonna pay off.
okay. Okay. Yeah. So it's pretty much like you said, man. Jew hit it on the head. Defense was the only bright spot of that game. Unfortunately, he had expectations going into that game, thinking we was gonna see one thing. Just didn't play out like that. But at the end of the day, um, you gotta move on. You got week two. You already 0-1. So you got to take that anger out on somebody. And you're gonna be doing it on the grand stage on Monday Night Football. So better do what you gotta do. Got a question here. Jordan Test Boy said, "What are your thoughts on Brandon Parker signing? This is the last year of McGarry's 3-year deal. His pass protection has been iffy, going on 7 years with a more passing scheme." I don't know too much. I really don't know too much about him. I might need my brothers here to kind of enlighten me on this because I feel real dumb about this.
Yeah, I mean, Brandon Parker wasn't brought here, from my understanding, to replace Caleb McGarry. He was more of a depth type move. So I
Mm,
don't think he's going to replace Caleb McGarry. And you guys know how I always say it: when it comes to the offensive line, chemistry is everything. If they want to replace Caleb McGarry, I think they'll do it in the draft. To be honest, if they think he's that much of a liability, but personally, I don't think he's a liability. I'm gonna say it again. TJ Watt is all world. He gonna make a Pro Bowl right tackle look bad. The man had 22 and a half sacks in the season by himself. So, I mean,
mm.
we just got to start understanding that these other players, I said this on the heavy hit. I mean, the what's the word the other
What's
day?
the
Like, TJ Watt is just that dude. Like, TJ Watt is special. He's special. So let's not panic. We keep saying it. Let's stop not panic. This is one game. Let's see if Philly make Caleb McGarry look as bad as TJ Watt made him look. TJ Watt makes everybody look mortal. He makes everybody
right?
look mortal. That dude's is a special talent. So let's stop acting like TJ Watt is just any old other player. He's a Aaron Donald. He's a Lawrence Taylor. Any of the great pass rusher, Julius Peppers, they gonna make you look bad. So at the end of the day, he's a game wrecker. It's a reason why we kept saying over and over again, don't let TJ Watt wreck the game. You heard our head coach say, don't let TJ Watt wreck the game. Everybody was saying that as one of the keys because he's that type of talent. So I'm not feeling no type of way about Caleb McGarry after the first game of him going up against arguably the best pass rusher in the league. Let's relax.
Could be worse. It ain't like he was getting beat by Steven Means. Now if that was happening, then
Now we
we
got a
have a
problem.
problem.
Now we got a problem. Okay, now we got a problem. We talking about that.
Exactly. All right. So getting on to that, as we already know, Philadelphia is 1-0. I know they just had their game in Brazil down in Brazil.
I see ya.
Mike, I'm gonna let you go ahead and run point on this. I'm gonna give me your takes on what you saw from Philadelphia after week one.
I saw a college team. That's what I saw. I saw a college team. I didn't really see an NFL team. Um, I saw a quarterback that was pretty much, in my opinion, he played. Um, he was rusty. I saw a quarterback that, for the most part, was um, bailed out by a great running back and Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley was an absolute animal in that game against Green Bay, and Green Bay that's a tough defense. So make no mistakes about it. And from what I've seen, a second year quarterback in Jordan Love, he just had his way with that secondary. Um, guy, I forget his name, Jaden. What's his name?
Jalen Reed. Jaden
Jalen
Reed.
Reed. Like that dude was just like he's not a number one, but he's no slouch. And like I said, he just had his way with that secondary. And for me, man, I just saw a college team in Philadelphia, and without Saquon Barkley, I don't really believe in uh Jalen Hurts that much. You look at him, he got a lot of tails, a lot of bad habits as a quarterback that he has to improve on. Because if he keep going right like that, against a guy like Grady Jarrett and Gino, he gonna get hurt, and he gonna get hurt bad. Um, you can't do that against those two guys. Those guys lining up on the same side. Don't do that to yourself. So for me, when I'm looking at Philadelphia, and what I've seen with them, I saw a team that is pretty much uh trying to live off last year's uh last year's reputation. I think this is a different team, and they're living off yes last year. Even when going forward on fourth down and all those types of things, they're living off yet last year's reputation. So until they show me that they are, a legit team, I'm not buying into that. I don't. I look at the edge guys, Huff, Graham. I mean, those guys are some pretty good edge guys, but like, are they T.J. Watt? No.
Well, yeah. And kind of defensively wise, coming from that game, what was that name? Zach Bond. He kind of really kind of took over defensively for them in that game. Um, it's a team that could definitely be had, but only way that you're gonna be able to do this is if you gotta be disciplined. Going into hostile territory in Philadelphia, um, you can't make no mistakes up there. They gonna get rowdy. So whatever team bond they got going into this week, they gonna have to definitely rely on this. Um, Saquon Barkley is Saquon Barkley, bro. Philadelphia got one of the best offensive lines in the game.
Mhm.
So you know how they always say you gotta have that hard hat on. You gotta have your hard hat ready. This is gonna be the game. And the added extra element is it's a prime time game on Monday night. So You better bring it. You better goddamn bring it.
Absolutely.
What you think, Drew? What'd you see?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with both what both of you guys said. I mean, heading into this game, as I mentioned Tuesday, you gotta cut off the run. That's the first thing with Philadelphia. I did see some weak points because we know they like to do that tush push, but without Jason Kelsey at center, I seen some weak points at the in the middle of that offensive line. Even though they have a solid offensive line, they're kind of inexperienced a little bit on the offensive line at the center position. Um, but I just say like I want to put this game in Jalen Hurts' hands as far as throwing the football. I don't want to allow him to use that RPO game, use his legs, which basically Justin Fields did in that last game. You want to force Hurts to have to beat you with his arm. And I really feel like the way that we're going to do that, we have to play with a lead in this game. We can't afford to get behind and allow them to get in their comfort zone. Because Philadelphia is similar to Pittsburgh. They want to control the trenches, they want to run the football. So my number one thing going in this game would be stop Saquon, shut down Jalen Hurts. Don't allow him to run. Make those guys pass the ball. Can they beat us throwing the ball? Yes, because they have AJ Brown, they have Devontae Smith. But guess what? If they beat us and he go out there and throw a 300-yard game, I'm gonna walk to the middle of the field as Raheem Morris shake Nick Sirianni's hand and say, "Good game. You played a hell of a game." But what I don't want to see is they rush for 250 yards and then they only have about 180 to 200 yards passing. Like, no, I want us to force their hand that they have to get out of their comfort zone. And I feel like that's what kind of hurt us against Pittsburgh is we never put the pressure on where Justin Fields had to really throw the ball down the field. They were able to play a defensive game. So I want to take that away from Philly in this game. So I feel like the Falcons got to get out to a lead to take the crowd out of it a little bit. And also, if we get out to a lead, it'll force Philly to have to throw the ball down the field where they won't feel comfortable just playing ball control. Because in this last game, we talked about the time of possession. The Pittsburgh Steelers held the ball and kept our defense on the field. Even though our defense played well, those were snaps that Kirk Cousins and that offense never got into a rhythm, never really got a chance to really control the ball. So I really feel like that's important in this game. Shut down the run, make it third and long situations, third and medium. Make Jalen Hurts have to read a defense because I don't believe in Jalen Hurts' ability to read defenses. I do think that he's gotten a lot better as a quarterback, but I still don't think he's there yet where you can say he's elite. He knows where his hot reads are at all times. I really feel like his thing is I'm going to use my legs, and then at times when it's third and short, I'm going to run. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm going to throw it in the flat and let Saquon do his thing. So that's what I would focus on. Stop the run.
Okay, okay. Got another question here. Jerome said, "Do we let AJ follow AJ Brown this week, or is he a better boundary corner? Personally, I like AJ in the boundary and just cover who comes to his side." I'll be honest with you. Let him follow him. Fuck it. Hey, look. The thing about it is this is one of my main things for the Falcons defense this week is they're going to have to get pressure. So AJ is going to have to be in those situations right there. So we can't be afraid to have AJ covering AJ Brown. Look, think about that. You got AJ versus AJ. Let him follow. The key factor is going to be can this front seven get enough pressure to disrupt Jalen Hurts and get him out of his mental. Jew, do it one more time. We need to see another one of these this week. Do it again. There you go. We need to see another one of these this week.
Yeah, we need to see more of that. Him and Grady Jarrett, they
Yep.
got two of them, both of them sacked Justin Fields at the same time. So that's what we need to see Sunday. I need to see that
Exactly.
defensive
Exactly.
line pressure. I mean, we did a good job of putting pressure last week. It was just
Mm-hmm.
we didn't put Pittsburgh in enough situations where I hate when it's like 3rd and 3. Your playbook is wide open. You can do anything 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5. You can run the ball for on a 3rd and 5. But if it's 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, chances are you're not going to try to take a risk and run the ball with a running back. Now, your quarterback may take off and run, but that's why I talked about you want to be in a zone type of coverage, because unless you have a spy, you want to be in some type of zone where they have eyes on the quarterback to make sure he doesn't, take off and run. And I feel like last week Justin Fields, I believe he picked up, I believe if I heard the stat correctly when I was listening, they said he picked up like 5 or 6 third downs with his legs. So that's the problem. When you got a quarterback that's just taking off and getting those first downs, that prolongs drives. So I really feel like that's going to be the main thing is get Hurts out of his element. His element is running the ball. He can throw it, but he wants to run the ball. That's where he's most confident and most comfortable. So I want the guy to play left-handed. Don't let him do what he does best. Make him do, make him push them towards their weaknesses. And I really feel like his weaknesses is I want to see the Falcons some type of like amoeba type defense where they're bringing guys in the box. He don't know who's coming on blitzes. Do something to try to confuse him because you know that that's where he struggles. The same with Justin Fields. Those guys really are not cognizant of where my hot read is before the snap. So I want him confused before the snap of who's coming, who's coming to bring the pressure, and then get him off balance. We don't want him getting comfortable.
And the thing with AJ Terrell too is the main thing that messes him up is he doesn't turn around to look for the ball half the time. This is going to be one of them games where he ain't got a choice but to do that. Now, Dave got a question here. I'm going to let Mike go ahead and answer this question. He said, do you think we at least have one of the rookie D linemen be active this week? I want to see Ruke or
No, no, they're gonna go with what they feel is right for the team. If it is the rookies, it's gonna be the rookies. But I like to be honest. My plan is to keep those. If I was him, I would keep those guys on the bench as long as I can until half the season goes. Maybe you got some injuries on the defensive side of the ball. God forbid that. But I want to keep those young guys fresh. So when we get into 10 to 12 weeks of it, those guys are fresh. Their bodies are fresh. So I would not be in any rush or any hurry to play any of those young guys. Let them stay young. Let them stay fresh. So when every other team is beat up in the division, all they offensive linemen are beat up. We got young, fresh guys that could come into the game because they haven't played all game. So I wouldn't. I would not. I wouldn't play them.
Mm. And kind of going what Juice was talking about with the 5 first downs you said Justin Fields made with his legs. 3 of those first downs came from lost containment, lost
Yeah.
like not being disciplined on the edges. So this is why I said this discipline is going to be very important in this game. Let me see. I saw another question in here. Hold on. I saw a question in here. Okay, I guess I didn't see it. So let's go right into the matchups, man. For me, this game's matchup, I gotta pay close attention to Drew Dahlman versus Jalen Carter.
And Jordan
Pretty much,
Davis.
and Jordan Davis, the interior line, because like I said, Lindstrom, Dahlman, Bergeron versus Carter and Davis. Because like you said, they don't have a T.J. Watt out there. So, but like you said, Josh Sweat ain't no joke. Brandon Graham ain't no joke. But where they get the most majority of their pressures, right there. The 2 Georgia boys up the middle. And Drew Dahlman had a real rough game week 1. He's gonna have to step it up this week. Because if he can't hold up in the middle, you might see another passing performance like we saw week one. That's my matchup right there, man. Jew, what matchup are you looking forward to?
So I talked a little bit about this Tuesday. Again, I say Drake London. You guys know that I'm a huge Drake London fan, and I just feel like when Drake London gets to football, he's hard to stop. He's one on one, mano y mano, and I really feel like him going up against big play Slay, Darius Slay for the
I'm gonna
Eagles,
love that matchup. I'm gonna
or
love that matchup.
yeah, I really feel like Drake London, he's just a dog, man. That dude is special when you give him an opportunity to make plays. I just feel like, he doesn't whine and moan when he doesn't get the ball like most wide receivers. He don't throw hissy fits and all of that. And I love his
All
character
of them.
about he don't complain about the ball. But I would reward, him not begging for the ball and asking for the ball because we seen last year when you give him an opportunity, he just makes plays. He's similar to Julio Jones. If you throw the ball up and it's about to get intercepted, Drake's not gonna let that ball. It's either gonna be Drake gonna catch it or it's gonna be an incomplete pass. That's what I like about Drake London. He's just a guy that's a competitor, and I really feel like we have to do a better job at scheming plays to get him involved. He's a guy in USC that mainly played in the slot because he had Amon-Ra St. Brown, who was the number one wide receiver at the time. He was an underclassman, so I say move him around and get him involved. Don't allow teams to just bracket him. Get those bunch sets, put him and Kyle Pitts on the same side, and just feed him. Even if you got it early in the game, just throw him a quick, throw it out there to him on a little screen. Just get him involved. You know what I'm saying? Get his juices flowing so he can get into the mode of the game. Because a lot of the times it's like I hate when he don't have no type of impact on the game. And I felt like last week you would have forgot Drake London was even out there on the field because he didn't have any imprint on the game at all. I think he had maybe like two catches. One was just like a quick little hitch early in the game, but after that, you didn't hear nothing out of Drake London. And I really feel like that's why a lot of people don't look at Drake London as like one of those really good young receivers because it's like we don't game plan to get him the ball. For whatever reason, everything is Bijan Robinson. Let's game plan around him. And I love Bijan Robinson. I feel bad because every time I say something about Bijan Robinson, it seems like it's always like a negative or a slight. But it's like Bijan Robinson is great. He's one of those guys that's really good. But it's just like I feel like Drake London because he's not, demonstrative on the off on the sideline, throwing stuff, throwing his helmet, screaming at the coordinators and stuff like that. He kind of would be like forgotten about. So I'm like, get him involved, man. If you just can throw the ball up to him, even in the red zone, throw it down the field to him. You don't have to be fast. I think people get twisted that you got to be Tyreek Hill to throw the deep ball. You don't have to have 4.3 speed. Let him go down the field and just throw it up. Drake down there somewhere. Just throw it up. And he gonna go up and make a play. We seen last year a lot of the times Desmond Ritter threw that ball against the Buccaneers. It wasn't accurate. It was two guys down and two Buccaneers down there who came down with the ball. Drake London. So that's why I feel like in this game, throw the ball up. Can't nobody on the Eagles jump with him. One mano y mano. He's a former basketball player. Throw it up on the rim and let him go rebound it. And that's what I would do in this game. I would take advantage of 6'5". He's 6'5". Throw the ball to this man. Get this man in the game. Like I said, get it flowing. It's no reason why Drake London shouldn't get at least 5 targets in this game. And I want to see some push down the field, not just the quick game, but let him go down the field, stretch the defense, just to back those safeties up a little bit. And so these guys can't sit on these routes. And like I said, it can be as quick as a 3-step, 4-step, 5-step drop. Throw it, even they got to be like a 9 route. Just throw the ball out there, put him out there on the perimeter. If you see it's mano y mano, give him an opportunity to go make a play. We always get on AJ Terrell about how he did him last week, but it's like we don't try to expose other teams' number one corners or their corners. So AJ always gets a bad rap for it. Man, these guys are making catches on him. Well, 9 times out of 10, a number one receiver is going to get the better of a cornerback in today's rules. So we need to start abusing those rules as well. Throw the ball up. Drake's going to get the benefit of the doubt. He's going to be able to push off like you see these, because of his size, you get away with a lot now playing the wide receiver position. So I feel like we don't take advantage of the big physical Kyle Pitts, Drake Londons that we have on our team like the other teams abuse it. So I feel like we need to use them. Use him, man. That dude is an alien. And that dude 6'5", 200 plus pounds. Can't nobody cover him one on one. Just like nobody can cover Pickens, nobody can cover Drake London. I haven't seen someone lock Drake London down. He just doesn't get targets.
Mm, mm. Yeah, that's kind of going what MJ Edwards here said about seeing Drake actually catch the ball with his hands, so the DB can't punch it out. And if you really look at the game today, that's really kind of a lost art with a lot of wide receivers. A lot of wide receivers don't really catch with their hands. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a football fan. But Mike, what matchup are you paying close attention to in this game? Well, ding! You got it. Nope, he don't have it.
Mhm.
He is
Right now, I
speechless.
don't think there's a matchup to be honest. Nah, as I said on my channel, man, I just think if you just look at every aspect except for the defensive tackle position, um, the Atlanta offense just has an advantage over that entire defense. Like I just don't see a place where like Philadelphia can dominate outside of Davis and Carter. Um, and this is why I say this time and time again, and I understand why people may like Tyler Algier, but Tyler Algier for a defensive coordinator, he's easy to game plan against. It's so difficult to game plan against guys that have multiple skill sets. And this is why Jude is talking about a guy like Drake London, is because he has multiple skill sets. He's not only a big receiver, but he's a guy that can go downfield and he has enough speed to make plays downfield. And again, I know people love Tyler Algier, but I can find another Tyler Algier. There's no disrespect to him, but we can find another Tyler Algier. You cannot find too many Drake Londons. You cannot find too many Bijan Robinsons. You can't find too many Saquon Barkley. You can't find too many um, Micah Parsons. Like those guys are freak athletes. So when you see these guys, you have to play them. Okay, and this is I look. I know people get so upset when it comes down to Falcons not being able to get everybody the ball, but this is where I always say it's like even when you want to throw the ball downfield, you still have to have enough time to throw the ball upfield. So if you got these defensive guys constantly in your face, then you literally just throwing balls in the dark. And I don't want the Falcons just to be throwing the deep ball in the dark. If you got time, throw the ball deep, take those shots like you said, but don't be just throwing stuff in the dark because I see a lot of teams do this and they make a lot of mistakes like this, and one of them is in Jacksonville. He just throws the ball up and he ends up, getting picked off. And I mean Trevor Lawrence, they do that all the time. And like I said, I want the Falcons to be able to continuously do what they did. We saw multiple. We saw at least two, three. We saw at least three passes in the game. For one was Ray McLeod, and we saw with Kyle Pitts, the one ended up getting taken back. And then we had a couple of them with Bijan Robinson. So they made plays downfield. But the thing is, what K Style said, what he's been saying is like you can't make these turnovers. You can't have these penalties in the wrong and at the wrong time. So the Falcons are doing their job and as far as the passing game is concerned. The thing is, you can't beat yourself. So once you start beating yourself, man, all of that, everything just get amplified. So another thing too, in regards to Zach Robinson, it's like how many offensive coordinators, how many years that we've been talking about we need to find a way to get Kyle Pitts touchdowns.
He already got one going into week 2.
So
First game.
these are the things that we talking about. It's like everybody wanted to talk about all the bad stuff, but Zach Robinson did a great job of getting him wide open. That's not an easy. So that's design.
Yeah, that was a thing of beauty though. That wheel was a thing of beauty.
And that's by design. Okay. He was wide open. A talent like him, wide open, that's design. So let's not pretend like this Atlanta Falcon team didn't do well. The thing is, all of that when you make mistakes and penalties and then you throw these interceptions and you do things like this, lose contain on defense, which Grady Jarrett did. Grady Jarrett had a wonderful game, but like that one penalty where he got a little bit too anxious and chased after Fields and lost contain, they gave him extra possessions. And you always say this: you can't give good teams extra possessions because you're gonna end up regretting it later. So you can't give teams extra possessions. So Falcons did much better than what we're thinking. The thing is, man, when you just run into a buzzsaw like that dude, this dude had 19 and a half sacks and then 22 and a half sacks. Let's stop pretending like this guy's not the real deal as a pass rusher. He's the real deal. Now he can be taken advantage of, which they did. It was two again. This is where I go back. It was two plays where Bijan almost took that thing to the house, but they were shoestring tackles. They end up. So these are the things we talking about. The Falcons did something good, but sometimes good teams make those plays in key moments, which they did. So Falcons, they are much better than what we're saying. You just got to relax, man.
Jude, what is the one thing that you always say about that?
Well, there's two or three plays in the game that'll change the game. That what you're talking about?
Mm-hmm.
I
Yes,
think
I
Mike
am.
just gave his
That's
matchup.
it.
Mike gave Mike,
Mike's
yeah,
matchup is Vic Fangio versus Zach Robinson, offensive scheme.
Hmm. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, you got to make up for it, man. You got to make up for it. Like you said, it kind of goes down to what we've all kind of been saying. Like you said, you want to see those deep shots a little bit more. Like you said, we don't have to. What's up?
I just realized that this is another thing too. Looking at that touchdown by Kirk Cousins, do you guys realize something? What happened on that play?
I gotta go
It's
back.
something that nobody's talking about.
I gotta go back. I gotta go back and look. I gotta go back and look at it. Let me see. I'm trying to
Nobody's
think.
talking about it.
All right. Go ahead, enlighten us, Mike. What happened?
They said he was stationary the entire game and he didn't move. Well, he rolled out on that play and made that play. He scrambled on that play. See, these are the things we were talking about. This is why he personally said he felt good, and Raheem said he personally good. But everybody was so focused on him being in the pistol. Well, he was in the pistol, and he scrambled to the left, and he found Kyle Pitts wide open for the touchdown. So these are the reasons why we say we gotta relax because when you respond to the negative, the interceptions, to the Tyler Algier not getting the touches that he deserves. I mean, at the end of the day, Tyler Algier is a ball player. He knows that some games you're not going to touch the ball. Wide receivers know that sometimes you're going to be a decoy. They know these things. So it's not going to go your way all the time.
It's
So go ahead. Jim.
it's it's a blessing and a curse. That's why I've been saying since we drafted those three, star Kyle Pitts, Drake London, Bijan back to back. But I kept saying we got too many mouths to feed. You're gonna have to each game is gonna have to be a different game. Like you said, everybody can't touch the ball every game. Some it's gonna be a Bijan game. There's gonna be a Kyle Pitts game. There's gonna be a Drake game. It's not a way to feed everybody and get everybody they targets and get
Mhm.
everybody they touches. So you really gonna have to capitalize, and that's why when you said about Rook not playing, actually, I hope that Rook and these young guys get an opportunity to play. I don't know if it will happen, but I think because we have so many really good players, especially we so deep in the trenches, that I want these guys hungry to play and they do not take playing for granted. And I really feel like if you the Ruka Roro's, the Brandon Dorlises, one good thing about these guys not playing early is this going to only make these guys hungry to want to get snaps when they finally play. And when you finally get out there on the field, you're going to want to make plays because you never know when you're going to touch the ball again. The same thing with Tyler Algier. They talked to him after the game, and he said, like, I know that me and Bijan are going to have to share the rock and things of that nature. So when I get my opportunities, I know I got to capitalize because I might not, I don't know when I'm going to get another shot, touching the ball. So it's the same thing with these guys that's in the trenches. You might not get a helmet every Sunday. You might be one of the guys that's inactive. So when you get your opportunity, you better show up. And I seen somebody in the chat was talking about James Smith Williams. I really feel like when he
Mm-hmm.
got in the game, he was out there setting the edge. He was out there playing, and you could tell he was playing with a different energy level. So all that's gonna mean is he gonna take snaps from somebody. He's gonna move up the depth chart. So
I know. Ooh, 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 I know. I know. I know. Ooh, 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 ooh. You know who that is?
I already know who you're talking about.
That
Go
Arnold
ahead.
advocate. I don't know what in the bloody heck he was. That dude was. Oh my gosh. It was so frustrating around him. He couldn't get off blocks. He couldn't set the edge. He couldn't tackle. He couldn't cover. I don't know what's going on the advocate, but he's way too talented to be making the mistakes that he was mistaken. It was pretty sad to be honest, because it's disappointing. Not sad. It's disappointing him because he had the talent, but for whatever reason, he just get lost in the shuffle sometimes.
Well, good news, we got players that can step up. So if he don't step up, Rook gonna get a
Hey,
helmet. The one on Sunday, hey, at the end of the day,
yeah.
somebody gonna get a helmet. So you better step up when you get your opportunities to play. You gotta do what you like. When you get your opportunity, you better go out there and shine. If you don't shine, that's why they want the depth. Sometimes it's good to have depth just because you can say you don't want to play. I'm gonna put somebody in that
Hmm.
will.
Yeah.
It's just that simple. And you compete with each other. And then it becomes less about necessarily competing against the other team, but you also competing with the guys that's on your team. Like, I better go ahead and make a play because if I don't, I know the guy behind me gonna come in and make a play.
Hmm.
Arnold Ebiketie. Arnold Ebiketie. As I look to the side and I replay that in my head, Arnold Ebiketie.
Oh boy, it was so frustrating on a couple of plays. Well, all he had to do was
I
set the edge properly, and they wouldn't have got a few
I
first
don't
downs. And
I
oh
don't
boy, I screamed.
cause I think for right now I don't know if it's he's trying to crash so much that he's undisciplined right now. I don't know if that's the issue or not.
Right.
But like you said, it's frustrating with him because it's like you take yourself out of plays. Y'all know what I mean by taking yourself out of a play.
Undisciplined. Undisciplined.
Yeah.
Undisciplined. You having the edge. All you have to do is just sit down and stay there. But then
Yeah.
it's like when he sees the quarterback, he's so anxious to get the sack, he loses containment, and boom. We seen this last year in the two losses that we had. When Taylor Heineke was starting, by the way, so I'm just letting y'all know that. We seen this twice.
Yeah.
So I don't, like I said, until he gets it in his mind that he has to be disciplined, he's not going to get better.
Do your job. Do your job. That's it.
Cause
He need
go ahead, you.
he need to check out. He needs to go check out on AtlantaFalcons.com or on their YouTube channel. Go look at DJ Shockley breaking down the sack that Judon and Grady Jarrett had. He did a whole breakdown on Grady Jarrett, but if you go back and watch that play, Justin Fields kind of ran himself into that sack. If you go look at
Mm-hmm.
it, Judon really didn't do anything. He just
Yep.
stayed. He stayed in his area, and then he just followed them. Then when he saw that Justin Fields was scrambling, he just put his hand up so that he couldn't have a passing lane, and then that's how he ended
Mm-hmm.
up getting that sack. So it's
Mm-hmm.
just those small things that I think AK is going to have to learn. And I think being around Judon, being around Grady Jarrett, but especially a guy like Judon, if you go watch that
Mm-hmm.
play, he didn't do nothing special. No pass rush move, really. He just stayed and waited for Justin Fields to try to run out the pocket. When he ran out the pocket, he just followed him. And he just lift his hand like what they teach you. If you can't get there, what they say, raise your hand up and bat the ball. He raised
Yep.
his hand up. He makes blocked his line of vision so he couldn't throw it, and then sacked him. So that's the same thing with AK. I think sometimes AK does too many moves. Have you ever heard of you doing too much? That's what
Mm-hmm.
AK he
We
doing
we've
too
been
much.
seeing that for the last 3.5 years. Players doing
Yeah,
too
he
damn
doing too much.
much.
You ain't got to spin. You ain't got to do similar to what Grady did early in the game, and that's what Mike was talking about. And you heard Greg Olson say that this Falcons team they got to learn when you have a mobile quarterback, you have to rush as a unit. So everybody has to stay in their gap. You can't do it. And I think it was Grady. He on that play he jumped outside, and then he
Yeah.
gave up the inside lane when Justin Fields
Mm-hmm.
got that first down on third down. They showed Grady jumped out his gap. So it's the same thing with AK. If you're on the edge, you can't spin back inside. If you spin back inside, you better make the play. That's what the coach gonna tell you. Because
Mm-hmm.
JJ Watt, he
Mm-hmm.
hit
Who
inside
the hell
Mm-hmm.
you
and
tell?
Mm-hmm.
and hit Bijan in the backfield. He tricked McGarry on one of the plays where he acted like he was gonna go outside, and McGarry overset, and he just cut back in on the inside and made
Mm-hmm.
the tackle. But generally, they say stay in your gap. So AK just got to learn if your responsibility is the outside. These mobile quarterbacks gonna run to you. Just stay where you at. If everybody stay in their gap, it's like an anaconda. When they squeeze their prey, it's the same thing when they talk about pushing the pocket. We know Grady and Onyemata is gonna push the pocket, meaning that quarterback gonna have to escape somewhere, and usually a mobile quarterback's gonna try to run outside. So they're gonna run those guys right into AK. Whoever's on the edge, they're gonna get an easy sack because all they got to do is just maintain the edge. Don't run past the quarterback. To create a lane for him to run through. Just stand there. That's all Judon did. If you guys go back and watch it, he really didn't do anything with just push his defender back, kept his eyes on where Justin Fields was. He just didn't run past him. So this is the same thing with AK. Just stay in your lane. If he stays in his lane in that Arizona Cardinals game, which you talk about, K, he makes the sack. His problem is he over pursues. He just got to stop over pursuing. That's it.
I was
And
so mad with that. Oh boy.
and Adonis Cody said it worked out Witherspoon. We should give him a shot. Well, unfortunately, from the news that came out, Othello Witherspoon is re-signing with the Rams, so that dream is been shot down.
Over.
The D line will get better. The year we went to the Super Bowl, defense didn't start great, but all towards the end they went nuts. So yeah, like you said, man, it's the beginning of the season. Everybody had their panic moment Monday. Like you said, it's Wednesday now, so we don't need to be sitting over here talking about panic move this and panic move that. And I seen somebody else said something about some Yannick Ngakoue. At this point in time, y'all might well sign him up. But I done heard this name about 4 years now.
We good.
What,
I'm,
no,
I'm, I'm
no,
definitely.
no.
We
They
good.
not gonna be happy until we actually sign them. Because, like I said, I've heard that about 15
I,
times a year.
I, this man that played for 14. He played for 5 teams in the last 4 years.
You, but look, blame the track sports. Every year they put that same room out. Track sports do it all the time. They put out the same every other 2 weeks. They putting out that man. The Falcons need to sign this guy. Hey man, the Falcons need to find God quick. Yeah, Falcons need to. They do it it's like every 2 to 3 weeks. They put out that same room, and
So we good.
they the only media that does it,
Lord have mercy.
and it never happens.
All right. So, for my brothers, I got a question for y'all. I want to get y'all thoughts on this. Actually, kind of based on this previous game. I want to get everybody that's watching right now. If you haven't hit that like button, make sure you go ahead and do that. If you haven't subscribed to the Heavy Hitters Live, make sure you definitely do that as well. Um, so this is the viewers participation part two as well. So y'all give us y'all thoughts. So we saw the return of one Troy Anderson week one. What were y'all thoughts on that?
I think Troy played well. To be honest, I really feel like Troy played well. The only thing I'll say about Troy Anderson, and this is something that I noticed, and I've been saying this from the get go, when you have an athlete like a Troy Anderson, just let him go attack, period. Put him on the edge, blitz him. Don't have him doing a whole lot of thinking. That's my thing with Troy Anderson. Because everybody talks about Nate Landman, and I really feel like Nate Landman when it comes to between the ears, I think that Nate Landman, because he's been playing a linebacker position pretty much all his life, he is more cerebral when it comes to understanding the game and what offenses are trying to do. Troy Anderson is just a pure athlete. So when you're dealing with a pure athlete, you just want to make it as simple as possible. Not saying that he's not smart because he's smart. He was a quarterback. So if you playing quarterback, you're pretty smart. So he played a lot of different positions. But I think that when it comes to Troy Anderson, I would like to see us just use him in like a position where almost like a rover position where we used Isaiah Oliver. When he stopped thinking so much, they moved him from the outside and put him in a position where he could just use his pure athleticism. That's when we seen his, his best skill set come out. And I feel like it's the same thing with Troy Anderson. I don't really want him necessarily in coverage a whole lot. I don't want him. I would rather him being like a spy. I'd rather him being blitzing. I would even like to see him on the edge at times because his speed is just crazy. And we seen you don't have to be big. A lot of times people think that you have to be big to get past these big offensive linemen. You just got to know how to bend the corner, period. And with Troy Anderson's speed, he's going to be able to get by a lot of guys just with his pure athleticism. Similar to Micah Parsons. If you watch Micah Parsons, I watched a lot of Micah Parsons, and I love his game, but Micah Parsons is a pure athlete. He's not the most technically sound. If you look at his handwork, Michael Parsons is just a guy that just plays with reckless abandon. He just runs to the football. So I would use Troy Anderson in that same way. Just let him run to the football. Have him blitzing, use him in different ways, move him around, but don't have him out there doing a whole lot of thinking. Just let him be an athlete because that's what he is. He's a pure athlete.
So what you're saying, Jew, is, but first of all, I'm gonna ask everybody the question: has anybody seen the Terminator? I know I have.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yep,
asking
yep, yep.
everybody:
Oh
have
yeah.
y'all seen the Terminator? Ask everybody in the chat: have y'all seen the Terminator?
I'll be back.
Okay, Jay. I'll, hasta la vista. Okay. There is a reason why we nicknamed Troy Anderson T1000. Do y'all remember T1000? What did he do? Didn't say shit. That's what Jew was talking about. He's a jack of all trades and a master of none. And the best way that you have those type of players is those players just need to go out there and just see ball, get ball.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
Hmm. What you think, Mike?
about what?
Troy Anderson.
Who? Troy Anderson. Oh, I thought you were talking about something else.
This, yeah. He been
Um,
eating a peanut butter cracker.
no, I ain't hit him yet. That's probably shit. I ain't hit him up yet. Shit. Look, I like to lay down first before I start eating.
Right.
But I think Troy Anderson is exactly what we need on defense. Like you got to have that wild card, and I think you know with a special talent like that, and a special athlete like that, it's like I said, you don't want these guys thinking sometimes. Sometimes you just need a person that is big, fast, and he can punch somebody in the face. And that's exactly what Trey is. He's the guy that's going to run, run fast, hit you hard. That's it. You need one of those guys. You need a crash test dummy on defense. He's that crash test dummy. See the quarterback, hit the quarterback. See the running back, hit the running back. That's it. I don't need you doing nothing else. We have a thinker. We got Caden Ellis. We got Nathan Lambert. Let them do all the thinking. I want you to just see that wall right there. You just run fast right there to that wall. You put your helmet on. You can put your mouth guard on. Just run straight into that wall right there. That's all I need you to do. You need one of those.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, Mike Tyson. What you think Mike Tyson was? All he did was he moved really fast and he punched really hard. Sometimes that's all you need. Sometimes that's all you need.
Exactly.
You said it in the chat. The water boy. That's the perfect example. and
Oh, I was
Bobby
gonna,
Boucher.
I was gonna go way worse. I was gonna say Danny Bateman, boy. Y'all ain't watched the replacement. You see Danny Bateman, yeah, yeah, that's what he need to be on, yeah. But yeah, I agree. He did, like I said, he did some spy work against Justin Fields that kind of was effective a little bit.
Yeah, what?
But like you
He
said,
tracked
it's
him
just one
down.
of those things where you cut down the responsibility and just like, okay, mother, get your ass on the field and watch him. Don't
That's
do
it.
nothing else. Watch him. If he
Run
decides
to the
to run
football.
out pocket, see ball, get ball.
That's it.
So I love it. Hey, I love it. Brian, people talking about Danny Bateman was crazy. Yeah, we need Troy to be Danny Bateman, Bobby Boucher, all that. Um, so if y'all ain't got anything else to say, man, we're gonna go ahead and get right into the Q&A portion of the show. We got about 10 minutes. I want to get everybody's thoughts on the game coming up. How confident are you against for the Falcons to beat the Eagles? And be honest. Oh, here you go, Jew. This is the guy that hates me and Mike, but he loves you. So here's his question for you. He said, "Does the Falcon offensive line concern you?" And I'm talking about pass pro, Drew Dalman having to block Jalen Carter and
That
Jordan
man
Davis.
don't care no damn about no pass protection. Like you up here, a damn Justin Field fan talking about he worried about pass protection. Who you think you fooling? That
So
man
I'm
don't
Man,
care.
that to be honest, I really feel like you always gotta be kind of concerned about Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. My main concern is the offensive sets that we run in this game. Are we going to be in pistol all day? Are we going to use play action? And that's why I said Mike said it best when we was like, "What's your matchup?" And he was like, "I really don't have a matchup." But then he started talking about Vic Fangio's defense versus Zach Robinson's offense. So I really feel like that's what it's going to come down to. It's like, are we going to see bootlegs? Are we going to see some things that get him off the launch point? Are we going to see Kirk Cousins, as Mike said when he threw the touchdown, roll out of the pocket and not be afraid to use his legs a little bit, not to run, just to throw the ball, not stand in that one spot the whole time and expect those guys to hold up? Because I'm telling you right now, you're going to see Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis blow up Drew Dalman a couple times in this game just because nobody can stop them. It's just that's what I was talking about with TJ Watt. You're gonna win some snaps, you're gonna lose some snaps. But if you just have Kirk Cousins sitting there like a sitting duck, then we're gonna be in trouble because those guys up front, y'all seen it when they were at Georgia. You not, I literally seen Jalen Carter holding up. I think it was Jaden Daniels like this, like
Jane
a
Daniels.
trophy, just holding the man up with one arm, like he won't even trying, just holding him like he was a toddler. So I
Oh
don't want to
man,
see
Bro,
Um,
that picture made me laugh so much. I'm like, wait a minute, I know we ain't doing this.
yeah, so I don't want to see. I feel like it's gonna come down to scheme. If you have him sitting there like a sitting duck, then expect Drew Dalton to get blown up, just because those guys are a lot bigger than him. So he's not gonna win those matchups consistently. That's why you don't ask your offensive line to pass pro all day long. You want to see some running so they can go downhill and be physical and go at them guys. Because if you got them backpedaling, he gonna get blown up. I'm just being honest with you.
I mean, he's the center is not really a matchup on anybody. He's more so help anyway. Unless he's in a 3-4, which they don't run. So you're not going to see that matchup with Jordan Davis and Jay Carter. It's more so Bergeron and Chris Lindstrom in this game at the minute. Because, like I said, they run a 5-man lineup, so it's going to be a lot of 1-on-1. So you're not going to see that much. In particular, the Falcons run a zone scheme anyway. So if they come in and try to play 1-on-1, that favors the Atlanta Falcons because they got a Bijan Robinson. Like if all our linemen are 1-on-1, Bijan is going to make them miss. That's not a very good design to have 5-man rush against this Atlanta Falcons offense because our offensive line matchups well with every last one of their defensive guys, especially the edge. So you want to run that, Bijan is going to make you miss.
Hmm.
And them boys gonna need help, like you said. Even
Hmm.
Bergeron and
Yeah.
Lindstrom, because those dudes are just mutants. It was a reason
Hmm.
why we wanted Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter on our team because them dudes is super physical. So, like you said, you're not gonna have Dahlman trying to block them one on one, mano a mano. But what you can expect from Vic Fangio, if he's going to run a similar style of defense that we've seen against Green Bay, they're going to bring them double A blitzes where Zach Bond, they were just really blitzing their linebackers a lot against the Packers. So I
Hmm.
expect to see that again in this game. So it's going to come down to those five guys on our offensive line working hand in hand and understanding how to pass off those blitzes. Because we know they're gonna blitz. They gotta blitz because their corners are not like that. So if they don't
Hmm.
blitz, they gonna pay the price. So I advise them to send pressure if they because Kirk Cousins is gonna pick them apart if they don't send pressure.
Yeah, I forgot the barking Chihuahua went back to Philadelphia. I forgot about that one.
And the
Yeah.
Kobe Dean is not he's not a covered linebacker. That's one thing I
No,
do know. So it's like you want to put him 1-on-1 with Kyle Pitts. That's already a mismatch in itself. And I forget the name. What the other linebacker? I want to say
they
what
got
was
Devin
the
White too though from the Buccaneers. He didn't play last week, but I don't know if he's still hurt. But he didn't play. He didn't
yeah,
travel to
yeah.
Brazil. Got Devin White from the Buccaneers. He's
But
fleet of
he's
foot.
not even the same player though. He's not even the same Devin White that we know. So it's like that's not like even last year when he played against him, like he didn't fare well against Kyle Pitts. So it's like that's not a good matchup to begin with anyway. So again, the linebackers of the Eagles they don't really match up well with the tight end and a few of our receivers. So uh I think we match up well with that. I think we got the advantage as far as that is concerned. But like I said, we just have to, you know, one, run the ball well. I believe we have to get on the edge. We have to run the ball a little bit better on the edge with those guys. And we run better on the edge. That opens up a lot of things in the middle of the field.
I can did that. I can did that. But at the end of the day, we don't need to see no yellow flags out there.
Hmm.
We don't need to see. Damn, if I don't need another damn it Jake moment. We had one last week. Oh, we don't need that. Hold on. Keyshawn Vlad here said, "Do y'all see Drake having a big game?" Since Raheem Moore said that we got to get him the ball more.
The
Offensive
answer
line
is
holds
I
up.
yes.
don't, I don't care to be honest. I just
Yeah,
want
I
this
don't care.
offense to get going. We just
Look,
need to
look,
get the offense going. I don't care who gets it going.
look. I say it like this: as long as the offensive line holds, he'll have a big game.
Drake gonna get his. Look, I'm not worried about Drake. Gonna get his targets just like Kyle Pitts gonna get his targets, and Bijan gonna get his targets. So we got 16 games left. Okay, they're going to get the ball. So Drake definitely gonna get it.
Hmm. So we're gonna go ahead and wind it down for the night, fellas. Might you let you get some final words in before we close this thing out, man?
Yeah, I want to say something real quick. I don't know if you guys seen it, but I seen on Twitter there was a play that someone had broke down, where he showed like Kirk Cousins missed Ray Ray McLeod wide open in the end zone, and he was doing like his breakdown on it. I don't know if you guys seen it. I should have shared it, but what I liked about it is what kind of what Mike was saying earlier, where he talked about the Kyle Pitts thing. One thing I like about looking at film, like the all 22, it shows you, even if it was a negative play, like maybe a sack or maybe we threw the ball away. In this instance, he was looking at Drake London like on the right side of the field, but on the left side of the field, Ray Ray McLeod broke wide open in the end zone. One thing I liked about seeing that all 22, he kind of was talking about the breaking down the negatives of Kirk Cousins missed him. But I was like, the good news about that is he was wide open. So trust me, they're going to coach that. They're going to go back and see that. And what that shows is he actually called good plays. And even in this last game, with us playing a lot of um pistol, being a lot of pistol formations, there were plays that we didn't make in this last game, but that happens all the time, people. That's one thing when I was looking at when he was showing it, he was talking about how Kirk Cousins missed them, but that happens all the time. Sometimes you're looking the wrong side of the field and somebody's wide open. And I'm sure Ray Ray McLeod told them, and they went back and looked at the little tablets they have on the side, like you missed him. He was wide open. But good news is that shows me that these schemes that he's running are actually good schemes because he was wide open. It would have been a touchdown if he just looks the other way. He's wide open. So it
Mhm.
just goes to show that we actually ran some really solid schemes because we know last year a lot of the times what were we saying? I'm looking at the all 22 film with Arthur Smith. It's like nobody's open. That's when Kurt Warner had broke down that Tennessee Titans game where he's like, everybody's running these routes, but who's open? Like they talking about Desmond Ritter taking these sacks, but nobody's getting open and they're bringing pressure. Last week there were actually guys open. Kirk Cousins just missed them. So that's another good thing that I think we can take from it is I didn't look at the all 22 like, well, dang, ain't nobody open on none of these plays. Because that's scary when you're looking at it and it's like everybody's covered. That means that these plays we drew up, they not gonna work. But in this last
Familiarity
game,
with the offense and the plays and the play calls. See, this is where we're talking about going to new teams. You have to
yeah,
get familiar with the plays that he calls. So it's not so much the personnel, it's not so much the pressure. It's just he
yeah,
has to get familiar with, and this is why I say give it about 3 to about 5 games. You will start seeing the true Kirk Cousins because this is not the play calls that he's used to when he
right,
was with Minnesota. So he's going to get better because of familiarity with the offense. Bijan is going to get better. Everybody understands where they fit and where they can get open in the offense. See, this is the thing too. Wide receivers know on certain plays that this is going to be open. So if I run this route, I know I can come back and I'll be able to get the ball because I know Kirk gonna be looking. So these are the small little details that goes into play calling. So this is why you look at John Abraham. John Abraham, he did a breakdown. He was like, look for the play that you did well, build off of those plays that you did well, and continuously run them. And then you can do things like run the play action off of them, run a lot of wheel routes and all these things off of these plays, play action off of these plays, but other things off of it. So, like just like I said, everything's all about setting up plays, setting up the next play, getting to the next play. That's all we have to focus on, man. So, it's all about patience.
yeah, man. So I was encouraged. That's all I would say. Be encouraged. Like everybody is saying, like, oh man, I'm nervous about this first game. We lost this game. Good news is there were plays we left on the field. Like Kate talked about being disciplined. It's gonna come down to discipline and execution at the end of the day. Like you said, after these guys jail a little bit, they get to kind of feel things out. They're gonna start to get it, and trust me, they're looking at those plays that work, as Mike was talking about. Because I know that play, they're gonna come back to it at some point, whether it's in this game or later in the season. It was just like a skinny post. He was open, wide open, because the safety bit down. He was open. It was just Kirk Cousins had his head turned the other way. That was it. If he
Mm-hmm.
would look the other way, panned over, he would have had an easy walk-in touchdown.
Hmm. That's why
Man,
you see Kyle. You saw, I don't know if you saw it too. It was like when they was on the sideline, when he was looking at their plays, he was like, "Damn," you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like he's really mad at himself because these are the things that he sees when they go to the sideline. They look at the board. It's like, man, this guy was wide open. I had it. But again, familiarity in the system. Like I said, it's going to take time. I know everybody want it to happen now, but they got to get used to it. It's like me playing Madden. When I go in Madden, I find a play that I like. I find a play that I like. I keep running that same play, and I make and and I just run different things off of that play, off of that same play. You can't stop it. Like you always say, I'm gonna keep running until you, I'm gonna keep
Until you
running
figure
until
it
you
out.
stop it.
run that thing till you burn the draws off.
Right.
But kind of what you was talking about with the plays too is you saw a different variety of routes. Like you said, we saw some hook routes. We we actually saw some of the crossers that we were begging for the last 2 3 years now. They say you've seen the skinny post. So it's just gonna come down to the offensive line. If the offensive line holds up, if they vary their formations a little bit more, we can see some good things going on. But the main thing is you have to be disciplined and you have to execute. And you can't win without one or the other.
Mm-hmm.
So appreciate everybody tuning in. Like you said, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to Jew Talk Sports, Mad Mike Sports,
About 1:30 away.
you and I. We get together. We gonna wait for them to come back after Teacher Red drop the new
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
We, and like you said, we got the 6 man convo coming up tomorrow as well. So appreciate everybody tuning in. Till next time, people. We ain't here to play.
Oh no.
We here to stay.
Oh yeah. Dig it.
You ain't gotta go home.
But you got to get the heck out of here. Oh yeah.
And one piece of advice: if you gonna be doing some dirty stuff, make sure you don't. Make sure your phone ain't nowhere near you, cause
Man, that ain't no accident. Look, that is not no accident. That man, they were calling that man fruity, and he just wanted to prove that he wasn't fruity. Ain't no accident, man. How you just accidentally go live and you don't know it? You're saying
I'm
bing,
just,
bing, 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 bing. Like that man heard. That man heard that. He heard all them things.
I'm just, I just gotta go back because they said R Truth was
He
he was
was.
this.
He was. Our truth was tripping in that mug, man.
All right, y'all, deuces.